One Piece chapter 1015. So coming off of the last chapter, this one was less grim than the previous. I'm not saying that the situation got better, but it's just more so that there's more hope now. At least that's the vibe I got off of this chapter. Not as dark as the last, but again, this goes to show how important morale is in a setting of war. And I think that just goes to show Kaido's antagonistic traits becoming more and more apparent. And we even saw a glimpse of this in previously in the story, whereas he doesn't outright defeat people, but more so tries to break their spirit. And if you remember, in an SBS, Oda states that breaking the spirit for some pirates is worse than death. And Kaido seems to be doing that not only to break them mentally, but also as a form of subjugation, which is sort of the way that he bolsters the numbers in his crew. And that's how some of the Flying Six came to be, specifically individuals like Who's Who and Sasaki. And so in this chapter, we come to see that everyone starts panicking, and rightfully so, right? When the strongest person of the alliance gets defeated, this will definitely raise a bit of doubt in the minds of those who are fighting. And even Chopper, one of the Straw Hats, he started tearing up because this wasn't any regular Joe saying this, right? It's Kaido. There's more credency when someone of Kaido's caliber says it. And not only that, Chopper was aware that Luffy was defeated by Kaido before, so it's more likely to believe that Luffy might have been defeated again. Well, we know Luffy was defeated here, but we know that he's going to make a return as well, and a powerful one at that. It goes with the idea that Luffy always bounces back stronger. The harder that you hit rubber, the stronger that it bounces back. And that's why Sanji was telling Chopper not to lose hope, because they've seen it countless of times in which Luffy gets defeated but always comes back in some way, shape, and form, and always prevails in the end. If Luffy says Kaido is going down, Kaido will go down. And I'll talk more about Luffy later in this video because there's very interesting things that happen here. But before we keep going, I would appreciate it if you dropped a like on the video and subscribe for more One Piece content. Now, first of all, Sanji versus Queen. Now, this was a matchup that was sort of a thing ever since the reveal of the calamities. Sanji takes on the third strongest while Zoro takes on the second strongest. And because of how many characters were involved and just the chain of events of how things transpired, I wasn't actually sure if this battle was actually going to take place. But now that Sanji is on the main floor, it's definitely looking like it's going to be a fight for sure. Now, I'm not sure if it's going to be a 1v1 all the way through since there's so many fighters in one place. But since everyone is preoccupied with their own thing, this should give Sanji some time to shine. And we see Sanji attacking Queen here, saving Chopper in the process from what could have been a dangerous injury. And Sanji's attack was so powerful, powerful enough that Queen couldn't even control himself. And this resulted in Perispera being hit and also his attacks deflected. And again, just shows you that Sanji's power is no joke. And again, in terms of tankiness, Queen's fruit should be the most superior out of all the calamities. And I think Sanji has a lot of things to show. We haven't seen Armin Haki combined with Diablo Jambe, anti-manner kick course. That's one attack that we're all waiting for. There's a lot of things that Sanji hasn't used yet, and I'm looking forward to it. Now, Sanji leaves Zoro with Chopper, which is a good thing because now Chopper can help Zoro in recovering. And I could see Zoro teaming up with Marco to defeat King, because I feel like we need to see some King-orientated chapters very soon. Oda highlighted him of being some sort of special one amongst the calamities. There's still a lot that we don't know about King yet. His character, for the most part, is still very mysterious and vague. But again, I'm looking forward to what King has to offer in all this. Now, moving on to Kaido and Kinemon. And again, just like the previous chapter, Oda is making these scenes in a way that all the scabbards are dead or should be dead. He's showing us a brief flashback of moments that they've had, and then someone takes them out with a fatal blow. That seems to be the theme around the scabbards and how they die, or how they supposedly die. Same thing happened with Okiku and Kanjuro in the last chapter. Same thing is happening here with Kinemon. Now, I'm not sure if they are actually dead, but it would make sense that they should be. But we also have to remember that there's that one person lurking around, which is either Hiyori or even Toki, some people say. That one person could easily come in and patch them up afterwards, just like she did before. So in terms of them dying here, there's still a bit of doubt, even though they all technically got fatal injuries. But again, we've seen characters survive from worst. So in terms of the death of the scabbards, still vague, but very possible. But when it comes to Momo and Kinemon, their relationship was definitely one that we saw a lot of because they were introduced very early on in Punk Hazard. And given that Kinemon is the leader of the Scabbards, it makes a lot of sense that he would be the one to take care of Odin's successor. If anything, he was the front runner in all of this. So it was definitely a moment that they had here. You know, Kinemon sacrificing himself so that Momo can escape. I feel like the anime is definitely going to have a field day with these chapters. And I've got to say that Kaido, these last few chapters, has been great in terms of being an antagonist and also the words that he says when he takes out people, right? A lot of it is about defeat and despair and losing hope. You know, Kaido embodies that. And I wonder if that has to do anything with his defeat or the defeat of Rocks on God Valley and how his captain died. I wonder if that's related to that and why he feels that way. Very interesting for sure. Now moving on to Momo here, you know, after witnessing all of that, grabs one of the frogs that relays messages, and here Momo basically confirms that the person that he was hearing was Luffy. And even though Luffy was unconscious, his will still had a presence. And we've seen this before, in which when Kaido defeated Luffy in Wano, Luffy unconsciously used Conqueror's Haki, and Kaido makes a statement saying that Luffy still seems to be glaring at him. And again, I think this is a cause of when the body fails but the will can still keep going on, you know, mind and matter. So essentially it's basically Luffy's will that Momo is interacting with, which is actually crazy when you think about it. But Luffy tells Momo that he will return and that he will defeat Kaido, and he tells Momo to relay the message to everyone fighting, and this kind of reinvigorates everyone's morale back into where it was before, you know, since they know that Luffy hasn't been defeated and that he's going to make a return, and it kind of negated Kaido's previous impact on the alliance. Now I feel like Luffy's return is going to be very special, and that's going to be a huge chapter, but I think we're going to see a new power-up here. Now when I say power-up, I'm saying it in a sense that he's going to utilize these forms or these new forms of Haki in conjunction with his Devil Fruit. For the most part, when he learned Advanced Conquerors, he mostly used it in base form and never actually used any other gear. I think for the most part he was testing it out before actually using it with his gears, and this might possibly lead to Luffy using Conquerors to develop Gear 5, or maybe it acts as a trigger to awaken his Devil Fruit, because the only thing Luffy hasn't unlocked yet is Awakening. So I imagine his Awakening is going to be pretty huge because that is the final power that Luffy hasn't tapped into yet. Now we finally come to the individuals who saved Luffy. Now it was an obvious one, but also kind of subtle at the same time. I personally thought that Losker was on the island as well, but then I remember that these guys didn't actually disembark with everyone else and they sort of stayed behind. Now what's very interesting here is that apparently Losker was also able to hear Luffy's voice somehow. Again, this unconscious thing could be some sort of new power that Luffy is tapping into, but we'll see if that gets expanded upon even more, because that's kind of strange for a Losker to also hear that, even though they don't have the voice of all things. Again, we don't know what power this is, right? It might have to do with his Devil Fruit, but who knows. Now back to Big Mom and Nami's side of things, we come to find out that Zeus actually survived like we all expected, and he was able to do that by going into Nami's climb attack when he got absorbed by Hera. The rematch with ulti is definitely happening. We see Kid is still engaging with Big Mom, and this time Law makes his appearance, and it looks like he's going to team up with Kid for now. Again, looking forward to Kid and Law seeing what they're going to do with Big Mom. And we end off the chapter with Yamato arriving to Kaido, in which he's here to break the bonds between them. I'm looking forward to this because I wanted to see more between Kaido and Yamato. There seems to be more between these two than was given. We know that Kaido calls Yamato his son. Now, is it because of the Odin thing, or is there more to it? Now, Yamato has to be pretty powerful if she's going up against Kaido here in a 1v1. Now, I do think that Kaido wouldn't go as hard because that's his kid, but I do think that Yamato will throw in some punches that will hurt. And hopefully we get a reveal of her Devil Fruit ability. A lot of people, and myself included, think it's going to be a white tiger mythical Zoan, and that would sort of correlate with the symbolism of the dragon and the tiger, one symbolizing hope and the other despair. But that's pretty much it for this video, guys. Comment down below what you guys think. I would appreciate it if you dropped a like on this video. Let's try to get to 300 likes, and subscribe for more One Piece content on this channel. It is Pharaoh, guys, and I will see you folks later. Peace.